Time is now, looks like 1:33. We'll go ahead and we'll get started. So hi everyone, my name is Matthew Dufresne. I'm the manager of sales here at Law Ruler. Today we're going to be going over a webinar on how personal injury law firms can benefit from using Law Ruler as a CRM. Today on the agenda, we're going to go over a few of the things that make us unique and a few of the key features that personal injury firms will find most valuable, such as our open API, our custom tailored automations, workflow automations, conditional logic and mobile friendly intake forms, one-click ESign via text messages and emails, built-in dialer, dashboard and custom reporting, and after that, we'll dive into a QA and answer any questions that the attendees have. Let's go ahead and dive into that first point and the first feature on the board. Most personal injury firms are doing a lot of advertising. Advertising can take many shapes and forms. You can be doing it from contact us forms, social media sites. You can be generating calls. You can be doing old-fashioned like mailers and physical marketing. You're generating leads because it's a highly competitive industry. Now, no matter where those leads come from, you need to make sure that they all follow a simple and seamless process so you can convert as many of them as possible. The more you convert, the more money your firm's going to make, quicker you're going to grow, and you'll expand. And the way you're going to do that is by using Law Ruler as a tool. The first step is getting all of those leads into Law Ruler. That is all done through the open API. We can work with things that can go through an API. If they don't have an API, they just have emails. We can convert the emails to an API format using tools like mail parsing. So there's always a way to get things inside of Law Ruler to start off that simple and seamless process. The most important thing here as well is it's going to track all of the marketing sources you have. So you'll be able to see how many leads come from Google versus how many come from Avvo, from Facebook, so on and so forth. We even integrate with your phone calls, whether you're using CallRail, call tracking metrics, or any call tracking number system. We even have our own internal system if you're not using call tracking set up. This way we can get you started tracking your calls because it is very important when thinking about your marketing expend. So the next step that personal injury firms normally have to tackle is now that they've got the lead, how do they convert them? And a lot of law firms still across the country are operating on a manual process. The lead comes in, it just goes to an email or it goes to a general voice phone number, and it just sits there. It either goes to a voicemail if they're busy or it goes to an email inbox and waits to respond. It's a big problem in PI because PI is such a competitive industry. You're having all these other firms constantly reaching out, and we live in an instant gratification time and day. If you're not getting back to these people right away, they're going to turn into somebody else and ask them for help, and they're going to respond. Whoever responds first is going to get that client. Using a company like Law Ruler as a CRM, that automation part is going to be key in helping you convert these clients. Because what's going to happen is instead of just going to a general email inbox and waiting for you to respond to them, as soon as they come in, they're going to get a text. They're going to get an email. You can even queue up a phone call in our system with our built-in dialer. The importance of that is as soon as they reach out, they're getting some kind of contact so that instant gratification need is met. So you could send something like, hi, thank you for contacting Law Firm A. I really appreciate you filling out our website form. I'll give you a call shortly from this number if your workflow is to call them first. Or you can even send out fully customizable intakes, which we'll get into in a second, out to the customer immediately. This way it occupies them, preventing them from calling somebody else until you can call them. So there's a lot of different ways you can go for, and the CRM needs to be able to handle your different workflows because the CRM is really just there to manage those workflows and make them more efficient. Law Ruler, we have complete customizability when it comes to your workflow and automations, and we're here to meet your needs in that aspect. So no matter what your workflow is, we can match that in automation, and it basically gives you the power of a much more dedicated team that will automatically reach out anytime a lead comes in. Now, this also has drip campaign automation, workflow automation, notification automation. There's a lot of things you can do that are really powerful in the system. The most powerful piece of all this is it's completely customized by your firm and it's filterable. What I mean by filterable is PI firms normally don't handle just one form of PI. People do motor vehicle accidents, trucking accidents, premises liability, dog bites, medical malpractice, you name it. Everybody is, PI is just a blanket term. Each one of those are different contracts. They have different ways you should be reaching out to them, different things you should be saying. You also have different marketing sources. Problem with most automation out there is you just send a generic email, no matter who they are, a generic text, no matter who they're coming from or what they're coming to you about. And the customer's journey kind of falls a little bit short With Law Rules automation, you can use filters to really drill down on that content, and you can make sure that everybody has a good customer journey. And it sounds like an actual person's texting them, not just a robot. For example, you can send out an email. If somebody comes to your contact form, you just ask a little drop down, what are you reaching out to us about? Motor vehicle accident. Great. Send them a text saying, hey, thanks so much for reaching out to us about your motor vehicle accident. I'm reviewing your contact information. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your situation. Here is a brief questionnaire just to fill out, and I'll give you a call as soon as it's done. That right there occupies them. They're filling out information. They're preventing them from going to the next person on Google. And it gets you all the information you need. It personalizes it, makes it look like and sound like you're actually reaching out to them. It's not a robot. So they're more than likely to respond to that. You're going to increase your conversion. Same thing with your follow-up. So when you're following up with people, you send them an ESign, they don't sign it. The system knows they didn't sign it. You can create follow-up routines saying, hey, we talked the other day, just wanted to reach out and see if you had any questions. I noticed we haven't gotten that retainer agreement back. A lot of things you can use this automation for. And if you'd like to discuss specifics or see if your workflow would work with us, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. Give us a call, send us an email, and we can go over your individual workflow over a demo, and I can show you what that would look like. The next step is to actually complete those intakes. And the intake process can be a little bit complicated, especially if you have a high turnover of intake reps. And PI, you normally do. With the intake inside of Law Ruler, it's very user-friendly. It's very customizable. And it's important because you can also put scripting in there using label technology. So not only can you put scripting, not only is it user-friendly, but you can also use conditional logic, which is extremely important because the biggest complaint, I should say, with intakes is a lot of them can just be cumbersome. It can be overwhelming for the client to fill out that much information, or it can be confusing for the intake rep who's new to know what the flow is. With conditional logic, you can hide or show different fields based on the answers to different questions. For example, did you file a police report? If yes, it shows a question saying, please upload the police report here. They can upload documents right to the intake form. If they didn't, it just hides that information and goes on to the next question because you don't need to ask somebody for a police report that doesn't exist. It just adds to the confusion and it makes it look like a longer form. And there's also other things the conditional logic can do. You can trigger automation. One thing PI attorneys specifically like a lot, if you have certain questions that make it a high profile case, like were you in an accident? Yes. Was it with a commercial vehicle? Yes. Was it an 18-wheeler? Yes. Were you catastrophically injured? Yes. That right there can send an immediate alert to the attorney that they've got a high profile client on the intake form, prompting them to call and follow up with that client immediately. This way it doesn't lose them. So a lot of things that you can do there, but most importantly, when it comes to saving time, there's no double data entry in these forms. As soon as you fill out this form, the next step is taking advantage of that one-click e-sign. With PI firms, like I said, instant gratification. You let somebody off that phone call without signing a retainer agreement. Getting them back on that phone is a lot harder than if you were just to sign them up while you were talking to them. So with Law Ruler, as soon as you're done filling out that intake form, that all maps to your retainer agreements. You click a button, or you can even have conditional logic trigger it. It'll shoot out an e-sign right to their cell phone, already filled out with all their information. It'll have their HIPAA, their fee agreement, retainer agreement in this case, their high tech, anything you need right in that packet. It's very user-friendly, giant blue button up in the top right saying get started. Senior citizens have a great time filling it out. It's not confusing at all. So you'll be able to sign up a lot of clients. A lot of also PI attorneys that go to hospitals to sign the clients up when they're in bad shape. You can take this with you. We have mobile apps on the Android and Apple store, and you can just bring your phone or tablets to the area where your clients are. You can sign them up right from your phone, right then and there using the Sign Now feature. So a lot of possibilities there with the customizable one-click e-signs. The nice thing too is there's no manual movement here. You send out the e-sign, you sign it. That automatically comes right back into that client's file. It updates that they've signed their e-sign. It puts it on the reports, and it uploads that file right to that client's document. So you know exactly where it is. We have our own document management system. You don't have to upload it anywhere, have to send it anywhere. It just works very easily. Now, that's the entire process to sign them up. The other thing is the human aspect of it is calling people. You want to be able to reach out to people. PI attorneys like a consistent routine because they want to make sure everybody's getting called consistently. They want to know that their clients are getting reached out to. But a lot of times there's no way to track that, and there's no way to set it up for people to call out as many times as you'd like them to. You just have to trust your employees. With Law Ruler, you can actually schedule that to go out. So you can actually We have a completely built-in dialer that allows you to automate the calls that are going out. Now, it's not a power dialer. We advise against power dialers. Every single person watching this demo, if you get power dialed, I guarantee the first thing you do is hang up, because the problem with power dialers, when you answer, there's a brief pause followed by a boop. After everybody hears that boop, I guarantee you hang up that phone immediately. Don't use power dialers. They're very bad. This is a soft phone dialer. The only thing that's automated is the call itself. So what happens is if you want somebody to be called instantly, day 1, day 3, day 5, day 7, our system will queue up a call on that day for your agents to make. They simply log in to the Law Ruler profile, put on the dial if they're available, and it will start queuing up calls for them to make. They hit accept, it starts dialing out. All calls can also be recorded if you choose to. It's up to you and completely customizable. Another nice part about the dialer is dispositions. You cannot hang up or get a new call without dispositioning the previous call. So you always know what agents are doing on each call, and you can run in-depth reporting. It also gives you the ability to prioritize certain calls. So if you want to prioritize people that recently were sent an ESign, you can do that. New leads, you can do that. It allows you to make sure the right people are getting called at the right time. Lastly, custom reports and dashboards. Every PI firm needs to be equipped and empowered with the most powerful reporting possible. You need to know your metrics. And the reason for this, and most attorneys that aren't growing, is they're not treating their business as a sales cycle. They're just treating it as what they think a law firm should be. Intake is sales, plain and simple. If you treat it like a Fortune 500 company treats their sales system, you will grow. In order to do that and treat it that way, you need your funnel metrics. You need your analytics. Law Ruler gives you, over 100 possible customizable reports that you can report on anything inside the system as far as data points go. You can see exactly what you want to see when you want to see it. It's a very powerful tool. We have standard reports like our lead conversion dashboards, which will show you your funnel metrics such as new versus open, rejected, closed, what marketing sources are giving you the best ROI. We have a ROI report that will actually tell you what your cost per client and cost per lead is. There's SOL reports a lot of PI attorneys like, so you never miss an SOL date again during the intake process. And of course, the customizable reports that are non-standard. Anything that you want to use inside the system, you can run that report on. An example of the way people did this is, I know a PI firm out there that did a lot of cases that weren't mass tort, but they started to dive into 3M. So they ran a report in their internal structure on everybody that answered yes to being military. They were able to pull that list and then send everybody an email inside a Law Ruler saying that they were now diving into 3M. They can also send a text. And with that, they got a lot of clients that they already were able to help. They already had a good rapport with. They were able to sign up a lot of 3M clients and not have to spend a dime in marketing. A lot of powerful stuff here that will give you the ability to put more money into the marketing sources that are working. Pull those people that you can use to develop a new claim or launch a new case type. It'll give you everything that you need to see to operate your business as efficiently as possible and make those important decisions. So with that being said, those are the features that PI attorneys really like and really use inside the system. We are the number one choice when it comes to CRM and legal intake software in the PI, mass tort, and social security disability worlds. Main reason is anything you can do in our software, you can do it mass, and you can do it well. So with that being said, let's go ahead. We're going to open this up to a QA session. I'd love to answer any questions you guys have about the software and help you out however I can. Well, thank you everyone for coming to our webinar today. I really appreciate your time. If you guys want any more information, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at lawruler.com. You can schedule a demo today by clicking the schedule a demo button in the top right corner. Thank you very much for attending our webinar. We look forward to speaking with you shortly and hope everyone has a great day.